Evening and welcome to Petaluma Community Access Board of Directors meeting for Tuesday, July 19, 2016. Will the interim secretary please call the roll?
Cindy Thomas.
Here.
Kathy Rivas.
Here.
Mark Jaramillo, absent with excused. Domenica Giovannini.
Here.
Benini. And Tim Williamson.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. And we have no one for public comment tonight. Is there any Board of Directors comments or announcements for today?
I have one. We have a staff member who is looking for a room in Petaluma. A granny unit or a...
Craigslist?
Yeah, no, Stephanie is looking for one. I'd really like her to find one in Petaluma.
Stephanie is?
Yeah. So if anybody knows anything in word of mouth, send them here.
Okay.
Great. You should come with references.
I'll give them a reference. I'm really thrilled with
One
this.
at least.
Yeah. Anyone else? Tim? Nothing?
Not today.
Okay, we're through that. Agenda approval. Can I get a motion for an approval if there's no modifications?
So moved.
Second?
Anyone opposed? Okay, approval of the minutes for the June 21, 2016 board meeting. Are there any corrections that have not already been submitted? Do we have any corrections? No? Good job.
I do it the day after. That's a trick. It's fresh.
Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll motion. Second.
Okay, anyone opposed? Okay, treasurer's report. Kathy, please.
Well, we have a treasurer's report here that sort of has some additions and corrections, but I assume that John will address those in his,
Yes.
There was just
Little-
one correction.
Well, are you talking about the budget or
Mhm.
we'll get that. That's on the agenda.
Right.
So we're just talking now about
it looks like we're,
Current state of affairs.
affairs is okay. We haven't opened, our new account yet, or closed and opened.
I closed the capital equipment restricted account and
Okay.
transferred it over to the operating.
Okay. Is that gonna be, then into the new account once we get it, or how?
It's in the account now.
In the new account?
Oh, the new account. No, I haven't opened up the new
Oh,
account.
okay, okay.
I do that when I finalize last year's budget.
Okay,
Which I have
okay.
to do with the numbers I just got, so.
That was the only
This
question
week.
I had about that.
And let's see, did I have anything else for the financial? Yeah, close the restricted account, and Kathy just signed the letter of engagement with Torkelson for our financial review. So, all that's in order?
Okay, is that good for the treasurer's report?
We'll
Okay.
carry on more in the.
Thank you.
on the item.
Yes. Okay, you want to go ahead with your executive director's report, please, John? Sure.
So, just wanted to share with you a nice little moment. Actually, I should make it plural. My little satisfied customer is now plural. We do a lot with Square credit cards, and now we're getting positive feedback. Great handling and expired membership. Thank you so much. Great service, friendly and helpful. Looking forward to our graduation video.
Isn't that Square nice? It's a fishing for compliments
Yeah.
system, yeah.
I think that they're helping it happen. It's good.
Yeah.
Cheers me up. We took care of the ACM conference arrangements, so we have flight, hotel, and registration for Stephanie and Domenica. It's gonna be exciting, and I'd like to talk to you more about the list you had. We got you for one of the paid sessions.
Okay.
Community outreach, well, we were thinking we were gonna send a crew to the fest, the Progressive Fest, but we haven't found anybody for that. And we're negotiating and working with the Petaluma Healthcare District for covering some of their meetings. But nothing concrete on either of those yet. City Hall upgrade. The hardware is installed, and we're now loading the server with the programming, and we should go live with 26 tomorrow. And 27 and 28 will follow, 28 being the last. We want to be sure of everything before we switch that over.
Thank you.
And then there's a training with Telview, and it's interesting, there's a number of, Telview was very present at the Boston conference, so Stephanie's gonna be able to dig deeper. And I think she's done a superlative job.
She's really stayed at it.
She stayed at it, and she thinks broadly, she sees how the pieces fit, and, so we're doing good there. Radio project, we're having a lot of, progress there. So let's see, the antenna location, we are solid with the option on the JC. Jane, the vice president, is very supportive.
Back to the maintenance building?
Yeah, back up. No, the maintenance building is out, that's building 900.
Mhm.
That would involve a freestanding tower.
Okay.
So that's what scared them, was all this building and permission. They want us to go back to the original plan, which was the building closer to the campus, building 600, Call building. And that was the original spot that Matt had picked out for us and showed us, and it's putting an antenna on the building.
Okay.
There may be issues because we're gonna try to get it higher than the roof, and that's aesthetically challenging.
Right, and that's still 300 feet from a house?
Yeah.
Really? That's because there's those condos right across the creek. Right
It
across
was,
Lynch Creek.
well, this was our original site that we actually went to the FCC with, so it was vetted by our
Okay.
engineers. But then the houses are, when we were talking about the tower, Gary wanted us to go door to door and make sure that they were all okay with it. On the other hand, we just got the numbers for the golf club tower, and they're a little steep. $650 a month, which is about $8,000 a year, with an analysis fee of $2,200. And we have to do zoning and permitting, and then there's construction costs, 12% of the, if Crown does it, or it has to be a Crown approved vendor. And then yesterday, Zach and Rob went to Lagunitas and met with Leon, the CFO. He's very excited about it. They're doing a major installation. They've got, what is it called, a PUD?
Utility district?
Yeah, they're going.
Oh, planned unit development.
Planned unit development. They're
There's
doing
two
a whole.
kinds of PUDs.
Yeah, they're doing a whole
Two-
campus.
two-
They're
two
doing a whole
above
campus
board ones.
upgrade, and they're very excited about it.
Really?
If,
Planned
yeah.
unit development? That's like a condo association, isn't it?
Well, it's a mixed-use development
yeah.
of their campus.
Whole
Is what
bunch of
they
stuff.
call it a campus.
So they're annexing the county.
Yeah. They're very excited about it. They love the idea of just the community presence, but there's still a lot of wrinkles to work out, whether it would be another freestanding tower or we could put it on a building with an extension. But Rob came back thrilled, and Zach got pictures, so I'll be following up with them. I have, I really am attached to Jane's support. I think that's a gold mine.
Attached to what?
Jane, the vice president. Her personal investment in this project is very valuable, so I don't wanna dismiss that.
Yeah.
Lagunitas would be fun. I kinda think if I crunch the numbers a little harder, the golf club is out. That's a big
Rooster
nut.
Round?
No,
No,
on the hill.
Country
Oh,
Club.
yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
a-
Goat
there's a-
Hill.
There's an Goat Hill?
Yeah, we call it Goat Hill.
You call that Goat Hill?
Yeah, that's where the traffic signals relay.
Oh, okay. Off that tower?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we'd be renting space on that existing tower. And I didn't think there'd be a $2,250 installation cost just to put an antenna on it, but apparently there is.
I'd be surprised it's 300 feet away from houses too.
Well, they have permission for their tower. And
No, the traffic is a public safety thing, it's a different radio frequency.
actually, Clay, our guru on this, ran it through his his app, and he said it's fine, it's probably the best for the signal, because it's so high.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where we're headed. We got the three options. I would like to make the decision by the next board meeting. We could probably make it sooner and maybe call in an emergency meeting to vet the selection. And what I wanna do now is sit down with Zach and Rob and compare the notes we've got. The office remodel, I got permission from the landlord to revise the window and the door. We have our first radio meeting, stakeholder meeting for radio producers this Thursday here. And we're getting a lot of excited interest. And I think we might actually start making every Thursday night radio night. So that either Chris or I are here to talk to prospective producers. Because there were a number of people who couldn't come to either of our two meetings.
Kind of like a radio open house?
Yeah. We're talking radio at PCA Thursday night, come on down and let's get started. I wanna build a community. Obviously, this first meeting will be more, what kind of radio show do you wanna do and get to know each other.
And then serve macaroni in honor of Marconi.
Oh, that's an idea.
I'm surprised you didn't think of
Chris
that.
is going to Costco, I'll tell him.
Just put a lot of them on.
Okay.
We're also talking about doing a little video saga to document the before and after as the office changes. And we've got a hotshot intern this summer. He's actually back in Boston looking at colleges, but when he gets back, he's gonna take that on. And we got some great press. I got my picture taken yesterday again. It's gonna be in the Argus Thursday. Chris and I were both interviewed, almost an hour for each of us on the phone. And I sure hope it comes out good.
For the radio?
Oh, for the radio, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Chris sent out a press release 2 weeks ago, and it got in last week's paper, and that sparked them for more interest, and they sent over.
Have you dropped the event next February? Dropped that,
I was just gonna say.
Oh yeah, I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
I
good.
talk about that, and she asked, "How much money do you need?" And I went to the budget. I said, "We need $20,000. That's our goal." So it's going to get out there. She went everywhere with the questions, and I had to kind of rephrase my answers so that she got the answer. So my fingers are crossed that it comes out clear.
There's always that.
There's always that.
Yeah.
And I really kind of danced around the three options because I don't want any of the potential partners to feel slighted because we haven't decided yet. So, radio's moving along. And the high school letter, I did a draft, I just made hard copies. So you can pass that out. This is just a first draft, and I wrote it to Sue Merrill, just there, at the school district. And if we, as we develop it, I think Chris should actually write to the actual principal or vice principal, but I hope to touch base with Sue first to see who we should contact. And I'm not sure we should actually send it out right away because they're all everywhere. They come back in August, late August, so that might be a better time to send it.
Well, school starts September 17th.
Really?
I mean, August 17th, I'm sorry.
August
Oh,
17th?
gosh, 'cause
Holy,
that sounds like Washington.
August 17th.
that's crazy.
Or at least the high school does.
I used to think June, July, August were safe.
So
Right.
the rest of them will be in that week or the week before then.
Right. Oh, I think they're all around that same
Uh-huh.
time.
So that's in the works, and we can talk about it now, or you can send me notes if you have any ideas for making it better.
I think we should send something of this sort to the board, trying to get
School board?
the school board. I mean, seeing that our bylaws state that we're quote unquote supposed to have somebody from the city, but we're also supposed to have somebody from the school, or in relationship to the schools
Mhm.
or school board. I think that would be another
Mhm.
avenue for us to possibly get additional board members.
Do you think we should see how Sue responds to this, cause she could be a real asset to us helping us move it forward
Yeah.
first.
Right. Right, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm just
Yeah.
thinking that we should stay on that path.
I agree, and this is a template that can be modified, personalized for different recipients.
to read it a few times
Yeah,
and then I'll send you
take
minutes.
your time with it. Because I don't think it's an urgent thing we need to get out next week, you can take it home
Yeah.
and bounce it around.
I think it's fairly urgent.
Well,
think
I
this-
think
you know.
the issue's urgent, but I think
Right.
our recipients are probably on vacation, to get a
Yeah.
response.
Is Sue around, do you know, right now?
Sue probably would be.
They're probably there getting ready. I'm sure that the,
In another couple weeks anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about waiting a month, I'm talking next week.
yeah,
Okay.
I say go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Anybody object to that?
I don't object to it at all.
Yeah.
I think the more we can get out there.
Should
Red
I,
light, go dog, go.
Mhm.
should I, there's only one part in there that's really directed directly to Sue.
Sue, I see that.
If I could modify that, I could send out the same letter to everybody, or maybe I should send a separate one to Sue and a different one.
Right, I would
I'll do
think that.
Okay.
And I'll develop it so Sue knows what I'm gonna send to her.
Anything else?
That's it from our report.
Anybody got any questions for John? Okay then, thanks, John. Item 8 on our agenda is the consent calendar, of which we have no items. Item 9, reports of committees. Did the finance committee meet? You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, but we met before last week.
Last
That was
meeting.
before last
That was
week.
prior to the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
week.
I
We
don't know if you
reported
met
on it.
to tidy up the little thing.
No, we didn't need to tidy it up.
No, okay.
I tidied it up
Okay,
and
so
sent it all
then,
out.
oh, but outreach and development, AKA the envelope please committee met, but that is an agenda item, so we'll move on. Item 10, old business, 10A, discussion and possible action on the envelope please 2017. Kathy,
Well, I see my name's there, so I guess I'm supposed to address it.
we love to talk about
We
that.
will, we will be having the envelope please again at the Mystic Theater. We've signed a contract with them, so that's ready to move forward. We're in the process of making some lists, of trying to get some sponsorships for our event, as well as donors for our event.
Were they able to address our concerns and complications from the last one?
Yes.
Good.
They have, actually, Ken has turned over the working of the Mystic to a company that, is taking care of all the booking of it altogether. His daughter Shannon, is that correct?
Shannon,
Shannon.
yes.
Is, actually our direct contact person here locally to work with that, and then we will still be able to get our food, from McNear's through, Natalia, which we worked with last year. So the only sort of big glitch that we had at this point was last year Whole Foods was a big contributor to our event, and this year, they're not going to be doing that, so we will have to try and supplement that in some other ways.
And I
Unless
had
you
a
have
few,
anything else.
I had a few items to add.
Okay.
Maddie and Rachel are happy to work together. Maddie hasn't come back from her little trip down south yet, but we'll definitely put them under your direction
Right.
for a cold call
Yeah.
attack plan. I communicated with Deborah. She's available most of August for doing the poster. And I'm gonna try to develop a more official logo for the radio station with her. I could have put her to work right away, but we haven't finalized the ticket price, have
Oh,
we?
that's right.
So
Well, we have a
we
meeting.
can do that next week.
We have a
On the
meeting next
26th.
week.
Yeah, I said we'd do it in August, and she said she's not free the last week of August, so we've got 3 weeks in August to get the graphics done.
And I think that we should have consensus here that it's okay for the committee to set the price, or do we need to bring it back here to the next meeting?
The committee
I
is
don't wanna hold it
mostly
up.
us.
I know it is, and so, unless you or Mark object,
I'm fine.
I think that we should allow the committee to set the pricing so that we don't hold up the,
Give the committee as much latitude as
Do
we
you wanna make
possibly
that a
can.
motion? Do you need to, or?
I'll, so it has to be concrete, so I'll just move that we, extend the committee the ability to set ticket prices for the On Vote Please 2017.
okay,
I'll second it.
any discussion?
In general, I'd like them to have as much latitude as possible so that we don't have to bounce things back and forth between us and them. I think because they're largely us, they kinda know where we're at anyway.
Mhm.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Who
Okay.
seconded?
I did.
I nominated, I
You
moved it
moved.
so well it didn't need a second.
You're a
Irresistible.
mover and a shaker. Alright, okay, so I'm sorry, now you can continue with what you were saying
Oh.
about Deb.
Oh, Deborah, no, Deborah's, I finished pretty much with Deborah, she's ready to go,
Okay.
she's excited. No, the one other thing I wanted to add is we got a date for the chamber mixer, November 17th.
Oh, great.
That was the date they gave us, if that doesn't work for people, we can get right back to them. That's an evening after
And
hours here.
last year it was like the first week of November or something, wasn't it? It was early November.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, November,
17.
Thursday.
5:30, something you
Yeah.
just said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. We had a good time last year.
Yeah.
Those are usually pretty good. This,
Yeah. I'm not buying the wine this
Well,
time.
'cause there's free booze,
well, that's part of it.
That's
The locations are
slam.
I'll
kind
buy
of,
the wine.
Yeah,
the,
please.
the locations are kind of fun and it's kind of a good crowd.
I might even
Yeah,
go out
diet.
and,
Pardon?
Get donated.
well, that's what I'm gonna do, is go out to my winemaker friends and get it. Okay, is that it?
That's it.
Alright, so. Anything else, Kathy, on this?
I don't think so right now. I think we're,
Exciting
that's,
times.
yeah, we're moving ahead and we'll, be getting, the little cards out. Hopefully we'll have those for the meeting for sure, cause those were a
Yeah.
big
No,
thing to
we're
pass
aiming
out
to
at
print
the
them in
mixer.
September.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, and they'll be able to hand them out at the chamber thing too.
Yeah.
we did that last year. It really was a great,
Uh-huh.
you know, oh, hello, how are you? Please come join us.
And weren't they formatted so they could also be mailed? I can't remember.
Yes,
I wanna make sure to do that, cause I think we need to mail a couple.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have
To
we
officials.
helped solve the raffle auction
Yes.
dichotomy?
well, that will be taken care of at our next meeting.
Okay.
We have to apply for a permit to do that, and we will do that this year. It's on my radar, so we will do that.
Yeah, I already studied that thing to death.
Oh, thank God.
I had
Okay.
studied it prior to you, but I really didn't print it all out, so it was great to have it all printed out.
But when you studied it, it didn't quite dive, and Cindy did.
Yeah, I didn't know we had to get a certificate from the franchise tax
Mhm,
board,
mhm.
so
Really? For
I,
a single event?
Well,
we have
for
to get
any
the certificate of tax status, so we can show that we are exempt. Yeah. We're gonna do it right.
Mm-hmm,
Dot our i's.
yes.
Alright,
Okay.
That's rolling them, not dotting them.
so, moving along, I guess we're ready.
Mhm.
Thank you, Kathy, John. 10B, discussion on possible action on the revised fiscal year 2016-17 PCA / KPCA budget.
I'm
Yes.
gonna refer that to John.
Yes.
It says my name, but I'm gonna refer it.
Yeah.
I just don't like to put my
Just
name
cross it
on
off
all
in your
the
copies.
I don't like to put my name on them.
I know.
Doesn't work.
Can you give Tim a recap of
Is that the
what
one
we
with the
did last
bookkeeping error?
meeting?
Yeah, well, it was an Excel error,
Typo?
my error.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I've
The-
already
The
had
little
my-
box that adds up the numbers was
Only
just slipped
explain what
down
you think
one
you
and
need to for
Because I
TV,
added a
right?
line and it moved up, and,
Yeah.
but I caught it when I was going in to change a number on the budget, so we had another change to make. And, I've shuffled the numbers to balance, cause I should have noticed, because when I do my first, throw with all the numbers, I usually am generous, and then I find out I don't have any money left, so I go back and I whittle away. And the first time I had almost $11,000 over left after my generous passing.
That's easy to fix.
So I should have, that was easy to fix, but I should have flagged it as something's fishy. So we had a $25,000 absence up there. So the change I wanted to make was cutting payroll in half, and that gave me another 10,000, and then I moved other numbers around. So I've got money tucked away for legal that we've never used, and it wasn't hard to do. We're still in the clear. So if that's approved,
The budget does not suffer an enormous pressure.
it's,
I move that we accept the
Revised,
thank you, budget.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, you got it.
okay, thank you all.
I's dotted and T's crossed.
Unanimous.
Yes. Okay, under old business, 10C, discussion and possible action on the bylaws modifications. And that would be
Okay.
John.
Been busy, haven't I?
John, who was charged at the last meeting to do
You think he
this.
worked here or something?
So, you all got the draft of the proposed changes, with highlighting for the changes and also for, we're attempting to do two things, and then let's see, and then we added the advisory council, which I had second thoughts about. So we have the change of the number of board members from 13 to 9, and the wording has been revised, and we are going to redefine that's part of it. We only have 2 designated instead of 3, and then the advisory council, my issue was I couldn't really find in the text where to put it. It doesn't seem to be the kind of operational aspect, and my concern was maybe it's going to, if I got a ballot and I didn't understand any of it, and there were 2,
And then vote no.
I'll mark. But if there's 4, I'm gonna say, this is too much for me. I just don't wanna overload our voting public with unnecessary questions. So that was my question. I found a way to do it. I put it in the same section with the board of directors composition. But it isn't, well,
It's
Yep.
really a committee. I started thinking about this more. It's a committee.
it's like if we had a members committee, it would be
Mhm.
separate, so. I would recommend that we strike it and just go for the change of the number of the board and inserting the words, low-powered radio.
Are we at liberty to create any kind of committee we want without it being in
Ad hoc
bylaws,
committees.
correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Ad
Ad
hoc-
hoc.
ad hoc
We
committees.
have standing committees that are written into
Mhm.
the bylaws that we have to stick with, but.
That's why they're on the agenda.
Yeah,
But we can create any.
But we can create anything we
right.
want.
Like the only standing committees we have that are out of the bylaws is the executive committee, the finance committee, and nominating committee. Those are the only 3 that we have to have. So,
My gut feeling is to keep it out of the bylaws, just so that we're not
Mhm.
required to then staff it. Doesn't mean we can't have it, but
And it would also give us ease of being able to remove it if we ever needed to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Box ourselves in if we put it, yeah.
Mhm.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. Well,
So that would
I'm-
give us just
I'm
3,
for
which would.
keeping the committee, but, I could, support
But we can
not
just
putting
do
it in
it.
the bylaws, yeah.
We don't have to
Mhm.
put committee in the
Exactly.
bylaws.
Is anybody thinking that we must have it on the,
Mm-mm. I don't think we have to have it. No.
Okay.
okay,
So,
so we don't need to take a vote, cause all we did was charge you with writing up language, so. What we do need to vote on is which version we're agreeing to, and I move that we adopt the language which does not include adding the
Advisory committee.
advisory committee. I couldn't remember the name of it, advisory committee. Does anybody wanna
I'll
second that?
second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Can you just get the notes down?
Oh, John, right faster.
he's
Uh-huh.
He's what?
an older fella.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm retiring.
He's age appropriate.
No, I'm
You're
retiring
retiring?
from my real job.
Good, you'll have
Who's
plenty.
old now,
You'll
huh?
have plenty of time to do this stuff now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Are we done with that one, John?
yes, thank you all.
Okay. We're moving on to new business, item 11A, discussion only on the PCA election, the current vacant seats and officers. Okay, we've gotta come up with a strategy here where we can fill our vacant seats and have enough officers to run this ship. So,
Yeah, we have enough people to do the officers, but I'm
willing, but they
comfortable-
have to be willing.
Yeah, I'm comfortable to wait till September to resolve it, because we might get new people by then, we should get.
So as the bylaws sit right now, we're supposed to have like, what, 13?
We're supposed to have 13,
We've
5
done,
elected.
held it together pretty well with 7, as long as 6 or 7 were here every meeting. So the bylaws change is gonna cut it back down to 9,
To 9, which would be 4 elected.
and there won't
3
be enough
appointed.
people voting, so it won't fly.
No, we have to work on that, we
Yeah.
gotta,
Yeah, that,
Okay. So
maybe we can phone
we-
bank for you.
yeah.
we have
We're
openings
gonna-
to fill to get all the way to 13. Of course, some of those are school appointed.
Yeah, that's the trick, do we need to target the 13 before?
Target to fill the 13, and then if they pass the bylaw change,
Yeah,
I think it's an unreasonable target at any rate.
yeah, it has been for years.
We struggle just to fill the, we usually have people running
Yeah, we've averaged
Unchallenged.
7 for the last, or 8, we've averaged 8 for the last 3 or 4 years. Right now, we're at the lowest we've ever been.
Well, I had said earlier that I remember, I don't know whether the Argus Courier still has this or if they run it at all, but they used to be a place where you could put a part of their community if you were looking for volunteers.
Didn't we actually do that one time, John?
Cause I know
We've
that actually
requested board members.
I myself personally responded to a volunteer position with hospice through that. And so I was thinking maybe that would be a way for us to, we're gonna have the article in, obviously, with you,
Mhm.
but maybe that would be an addition, I don't know if they still have that, maybe they don't have that in.
Well, they have like little news briefs for the
Right.
community, and that would be easy. The thing is, we send out an annual notice of an election, saying if you'd like to be considered for board, please contact us.
In the paper.
In the paper.
Do we put
That's-
it on the bulletin board on TV?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be oops.
Yeah, well, it
And
goes
social
out.
media.
Social media. And, that doesn't mean we can't do another request for.
I just thought if it was kind of lumped together with other people, if, some people are looking for volunteer positions. And, that doesn't
Yeah.
sound, that sounds kinda interesting, maybe it would be a drop in the bucket, I don't know.
That's worth a try.
And is the notice of election pretty formal?
Yeah, it's fairly formal, it's a few words. Basically, we
With-
are having an election in September. If you're interested in being nominated, contact the board. If you're not nominated, you can get 10 members to sign a petition and get on the ballot. And I might even add, and if you just want an appointment, come and see us.
So we could
Mhm.
potentially try to get it posted, especially if you're like social media and in the newspaper, dressed up a little bit, if we get the messaging. Like, we can do that as a requirement, but then potentially,
I think they'll print whatever we send them.
yeah,
Yeah. Bylaws request a certain formal
sure.
notice.
But then in the next one, maybe I'm thinking kind of
Yeah.
Just
a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, does the tech committee still televise their meetings?
Yeah.
Could we
You can
Have
do
you
it.
mentioned that at
Yeah,
a tech
the
meeting?
tech committee would be thrilled beyond words to see somebody actually make a public comment.
Or we can get on the agenda and do a presentation.
If you know somebody that can do the agenda, yeah. If you wanna be on the one next week, you better tell them fast. I think it's going out tomorrow. A little birdie told me. But public comment and staff comments are easy. They're not as good.
What day
Public
do they
comment's
meet?
better. Next Wednesday,
At what time?
Every third Wednesday?
7.
Is it fourth
How
Wednesday
soon
or
they
third?
forget.
It's been almost a year.
Third Wednesday or fourth Wednesday?
Fourth Wednesdays. Most of the time,
At what time?
7.
Cause I'm thinking it'd be nice to actually, and I'm happy to volunteer since I'm bringing this up, so I'm not volunteering other people. But I think it'd be nice to do an actual presentation about the plans for the radio and what that looks like.
Sure.
And,
You could volunteer. You could volunteer John and Cindy.
well, I'm not gonna volunteer other people. I would need their help to get
Oh, I
ready,
would.
so I know what I'm saying,
Oh,
but.
that'd be wonderful. I would love to prepare something that somebody else delivers, cause it's always kinda, I get carried away.
So, I mean, I'm happy to I mean, that probably couldn't happen until the next meeting.
Yeah, I think we need to wait
But-
till we have.
I
our
don't know if there's an
location.
August meeting.
Oh,
I know that we tried cutting back, we had to combine the November, December ones.
yeah.
So that reduces by 1, and then we would also skip, I think it's skip the August meeting.
So September.
Since we're having the July one, so it must be the August.
Well, the
meeting.
September one would give us, that would not be a bad place
Fourth-
to have
fourth
it.
September.
Yeah, we
or
could
fourth-
plug everything all at
Yeah.
once.
Mhm.
September
And that would
meeting.
give plenty of time to
And we could still have a public comment.
prepare
next
your
For me to know what
information.
I'm saying.
Board.
Yeah.
And we could still do the public comment for the
Oh, the
board.
only thing. Oh, but that's,
Swing
isn't
by.
that the day of our members meeting? Oh, no, Wednesday.
No, we don't have a members meeting on Wednesday, it's a Thursday.
No, I know, that's,
Oh.
but their meeting's on a Wednesday. Might be in Mexico. One, two, three, the 28th.
27th.
September 28th.
That's the Wednesday, right?
July 27th is a Wednesday.
That's next Wednesday, yeah.
Oh, you're talking next week. I was looking at September.
September meeting will be on the 28th.
Okay, this is an agenda item on the board, but we're talking about radio, but I guess it's,
Well, we're just talking about filling seats still.
yeah.
Ways to fill seats.
Yeah,
So we
that
can
was my
compare.
thought, was to announce the seat vacancy.
Mm-hmm.
Any way we can. I have one other suggestion. The city runs the Park and Rec Commission, who has a committee called the Youth Commission. And the Youth Commission has not only adult members or older members, but a whole bunch of youth members. And I think they're already demonstrated ability and interest in civic things. Maybe that would be a good place to drop in on too.
We had a discussion one time about having youth on this committee, and what was the barriers that we
I think
identified?
High school kids.
High school kids,
Most-
under 18 is delicate. So I was thinking college, junior college.
Uh-huh.
And I was also thinking it wasn't the communications department, it was the government, social.
Well, go to, I
They would
would,
be the
I
students
would
that-
suggest going to the youth commission and hoping you can get an invitation to the rec commission, which is also on TV like the tech committee is.
Okay.
And when do they meet? What's the story?
The youth or the rec, I don't know.
Okay.
I can get you contact me at work, I can get you the calendars and schedules and contacts and all that stuff. I know a guy, know a guy there too.
You know a guy.
Yeah, I was talking to him today, both of them.
Right. All right, let's get back on track here.
That was on track.
Yeah.
Discussion only, so that's all we're doing.
Yeah, I didn't think it needed action, but,
Do we need a vice chair and a chair? Isn't it time for me to move on?
So I guess I have one question and still on this, if we decide not to have an elected board seat on the ballot, and the bylaws change doesn't pass, we're still in arrears. But we're in arrears now, so that's not so serious,
We're 2 behind the 7.
yes, or the 8 ball, not to mention.
We didn't get the 8 ball. We've been carrying 7 because it's a nice odd number. It's easy to make a quorum or not, instead of trying to figure it out. It's an odd number, so you don't have to worry about voting. It was achievable, I think was the big deal. So we gotta aim for at least 7, maybe a third. And we can always appoint more, and if the bylaws reduction goes through, then we're aiming at a lower target. But we'll have hit the lower
Yeah,
target.
we will have hit the target.
Instead of missing it by less.
And you're still good with that?
Yep.
Thank you. So, we'll proceed on those terms then. We don't need an elected board seat on this election, we're gonna go just for the bylaws change, and then we'll deal with the results in
And
October.
then we'll appoint 2.
Yeah. Excellent, thank you.
We'll actually appoint Dominica,
To take a vacant elected seat,
right, and then,
then we have our
yeah.
four.
Okay. I had to reconcile it in my brain.
We're gonna just point them all over the place.
Cause everybody's just like charging us for a seat on the board.
No, isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah. We are that hot. Okay. Can we move on now?
Yeah, we can.
Everybody ready? Okay, we're finished with, new business, and we now need to adjourn to closed session to discuss a staff.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
I moved that we
So-
adjourn.
Thanks for joining us, and
See you next week. Or
see you
month.
next time.